Hello everyone and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward, a video walkthrough presented by GameCola.net. I am Michael and with me today is Nathaniel Hoover and Nikola Suprak.
Hey, I'm Nathaniel Hoover. I do the Flash Flood and Sprite Flicker columns on GameCola.net and occasionally some reviews and other things.
I'm Nikola Suprak. I do a lot of different things fairly infrequently.
So as you can see here, or as I'm trying to show you, we are halfway through the Alice pathway at this point. The way to get the Alice pathway is by going through the cyan door, then allying with her. Which means we are getting stuck with the blue door, right?
You're asking the colorblind guy?
No, I'm asking you guys if we were given a choice at the end of the previous video. I've already forgotten.
No,
Didn't
we
somebody
just
make
got
the
shoved
choice
into one
for
door.
us?
Yeah, somebody... It's because last night I recorded video number 16 and this is video number 9, so I have my videos all mixed up.
Yes, we've recorded versions without our lovely voices on top of them, in case you're trying to use this as a proper walkthrough. All of those have been recorded in advance, and now we're adding commentary to them and releasing them at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So it seems that we were betrayed by Alice when we went through the doorway with Alice.
We were the jerk.
Oh.
But we've got Luna here. Luna's always a good time.
I don't know if good time is really the phrase that I would use to describe.
She's a party. What are you talking about?
She's pleasant, she's nice, she's informative and educated. Ooh, waterfall.
Yeah, this is the bee garden.
And I love the honeycomb look to the glass there. It's pretty.
What does B stand for again? I forget.
It stands for below.
Below. Okay.
Oh, literally B, like the letter B garden. We are not going to see bumblebees here.
Yeah, no. The letter B for below.
Oh man, I had my hopes up for like dancing bumblebees with top hats and canes, or I mean, we have the rabbit show.
We
really,
have the honeycomb everywhere.
Anything's
too.
possible.
Yeah, no. A is above and B is below for floor A and floor B.
Will we get to see the A garden?
There is no A garden.
There's no A garden? So
we
at what
don't know
point in
that.
the game is Fonzie gonna bust in and go, "Hey!" I mean, we need an A garden.
But there's all those rooms we can't get to. Remember, maybe one of those is the A garden.
Okay, well, if there is an A garden, then it is not the exact same size as the B garden, because the B garden is rather large.
So what we're saying is we're the B team.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun. Which is appropriate, because in this video we're not actually going to make it to the end of the Alice ending. I think we're going to get the bad ending. But Nikola and I in previous videos discussed this, B for bad ending, so...
Yes, we planned it that way.
But it's A for Alice ending.
I feel like they should inspect that giant floating arrow on the ground. It's like it's trying to tell us something.
I like the background music here. It reminds me of one of those levels from Super Mario 64, the one right before the second fight with Bowser. I'm totally forgetting the name of it now.
You thinking Dire Dire Docks?
Yeah, that one.
I always like that music.
And, this music sounds somewhat similar to that.
Incidentally, Dire Dire Docks works great as an alarm clock. If you have an alarm clock that wakes you up to a CD or some sort of pre-programmed music, having Dire Dire Docks gradually fade in is a wonderfully gentle way to wake up, as my friend and I found at one point.
I feel like the best way to get me up immediately is to use the Sonic is Drowning music from the old Sonic games. Like, nothing's like an, oh god, sort of time to get out of bed right now feeling.
Oh, and here's a joke I forgot to trigger earlier. Alice apparently thinks Sigma lives in a little shed.
That's T-Dog. She got us and T-Dog confused.
Yeah. Well, no. T-Dog broke into a house, right? He broke into somebody's house, and that's right. Where he lives. Because he needed to use their cabinet space to store his grandpa videos. And there was me getting frustrated with the arrow not working.
You know, something about this environment just sort of makes me feel like we're playing Myst.
I
see
have
that.
to say I missed out on that experience. I never
Ah.
really played that game.
I've now tried 3 different times to play Myst. I got my sister a copy of it and borrowed that, tried to install it. That didn't work. I got like an Ultimate Edition for myself on CD and tried it, and it didn't work because my QuickTime program was too advanced to play the videos. So it would launch into some sort of pre-rendered cutscene, and it would just crash the game. And I read extensively about how to fix it and play it. Didn't work. So I have now since purchased it from Good Old Games, which should be configured to work, but we'll see when that happens. I tried playing the original Tomb Raider, which was allegedly programmed to work right out of the box from Good Old Games, but that was missing a lot of the music and was a pain to get started, so
I
we'll see
found the
if it works.
Tomb Raider remake, I guess it was a 10th anniversary remake, I found that to be rather tolerable.
Yes.
I forget which level I died on, though, so... No, with Myst, actually, I know we're not at all talking about Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward, but...
Since when do we ever? At least we're talking about video games for a change.
With Myst, I used a walkthrough. I installed the game and I used a walkthrough, and actually, apparently, there's a way to get the ending and beat the game in 5 minutes. If you have the final password or something along those lines, you can
Or if you
immediately
just
skip.
start the game, load a save game from the end of the game, and then play that, that's a way to beat it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So what I did was I just used that. I used the final password in order to beat it in 5 minutes, and amazingly enough, I had no idea what was going on in the ending. There was an angry person ripping up a book, and that was about it.
Strangely enough, that's all I really know about Myst. I somehow walked into the room, I guess, when one of my friends was playing the ending of the game, and so that's about all I know about Myst. That and the fact that I can't move more than 3 or 4 screens without cutscene triggering and crashing my game.
So here you're supposed to use the metal detector in order to find things inside these various vegetables. The
We have a metal detector?
Yes, we have a
When did
metal
that happen?
detector.
These are bad vegetables.
There are things inside the vegetables.
Like prizes?
Yeah,
And nutrients.
the clue is that we have I think a pepper over there on the left side of the garden, and there's a coin inside, a metal coin inside that vegetable.
Is there going to be another poster somewhere?
No.
So money doesn't grow on trees, but it does grow inside vegetables.
Freshly excavated onion. I like that.
Very specific.
No, I do have to wonder what sort of currency people use in this post-apocalyptic, in the very bad world where everything is horrible.
Gills, zenny, I mean, bells. Could be any number of things.
Gold dollars, I imagine.
Yep, gotta have those gold dollars.
I wonder what country this game takes place in. I forget. You know, usually with games, they, you know, in a game which comes from Japan, they'll usually say it takes place in the United States, when in the Japanese version it takes place in Japan. But this game actually references Nevada quite a bit.
I'm still not convinced that they're not on the moon or on Mars or something, because that one thing when they got all dressed up in the suits and walked out onto that sort of barren landscape, it really looked like the moon to me, or Mars, or some alien landscape.
Nevada, the moon.
Good instinct, Nathaniel. Actually, I think that was... Actually, no, I don't know. Whatever... Was that explained, like, at the beginning of that particular ending, though? That the moon is going to be red because of the cutscene? Or the solar eclipse? Lunar eclipse?
You know, they can say all they like, but I get the feeling a lot of people in this game are lying to us, so I only trust them so much.
Well, no. I mean, I remember I went online and checked it out, and that lunar eclipse is only visible from, say, like, Japan and China. So clearly, this happened in, you know, the deserts, the vast deserts of Japan. And I'm
Did they just drop the sun?
Yeah, they dropped the sun.
Like pull a lever and the sun just drops out of the sky. Everybody out of the
That's
way!
how it works.
Let's see if anything's changed now that it's dark. It's scary.
Uh,
No. The different thing is we can see stars in the river.
So we dropped the sun on somebody and then we threw stars in the water?
Apparently. I think it's just an artificial sun.
what?
We have
I
the
don't
9th
believe you.
lion eating the sun. Yes.
I'm suspicious of this room now. I mean, we have that big glowy arrow on the floor, and now we have stars in the water. I don't know about this place.
So there are 2 puzzles with the star. One puzzle is ordering them according to size, and the other is ordering them according to the order you saw them in.
We talking about stars or the people with us?
The stars.
Okay.
So this paper with dots is your clue as to how to solve the puzzle. You need to press these buttons according to the dots.
Oh, it's clever like that. But how do you know if you're supposed to read it across or down?
There's a really tiny arrow on the left-hand side.
Right. Did we do it?
We solved the puzzle, yay.
No,
I
you
know-
broke the waterfall now.
We kill the sun and the waterfall. I
We
know in
hate
the
nature.
previous video we were talking... Oh, I should mention this puzzle. What you have to do is weigh these things. You're supposed to weigh them using the scales and put them in order from heaviest to lightest. And you'll notice I completely skipped that. But in the previous video...
You're just poking the hole like, be done with your talking!
Yes. In the previous video we were talking about speedrunning this game for no real reason. The passwords are randomly determined as soon as you start the game, so really what you can do is play ahead, go through the room, and get the password, then just reload your game and insert that password. It's still gonna work.
That's interesting. I guess that's a little bit like Majora's Mask, which I played briefly, which has a section where you're supposed to chase some kids around town and find each of them, and they each have a number that's part of a password to let you into their secret treehouse or wherever it is. But it's the same password every time? I believe that's what I read.
It's the same password every time, but every time you restart the game, the password is randomly determined.
Right. So it's sort of the same deal there.
Yeah, and some people say the password is randomly determined by the order you find the kids in. So if you find the number 1 kid first, the password starts with the 1, so on and so forth.
Interesting.
Could be wrong. That's the bad segment of Majora's Mask anyway, which nobody likes. It takes about 20-25 minutes to get through the first cycle, the first 3-day cycle of Majora's Mask. When you watch the speedrunners do it, it's like the game doesn't really start until afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, I stopped after about 20-25 minutes when a moon fell on me and didn't really have much motivation to go back and try and redo it.
Yeah. You know, I like the game. It's just people say that's the, that it's fine doing it like the first time, but if you're trying to speedrun the game and you're playing this game over and over and over again, that really boring opening 20-minute intro segment is killer. So let's read these secrets. I think we might actually get spoilers. Maybe? Are we? If I can find the secrets. Ice 9! Yes, we were talking about Ice 9, weren't we?
We talked about this in the previous game, 999.
Yeah, Alice is allegedly made with Ice 9. The water in her body is Ice 9. And this is the villain of the previous game, who we're calling H for some reason.
That is a dapper suit, though.
We are protecting his identity. I don't know why. I guess they
In
don't
case
want
you
to
haven't played the
spoil
first game.
previous game, yeah.
Because that is a rather large plot point.
Immunoglobulin. That becomes important in this ending. You guys know about prime factorization, right? It's fun.
Fractorization?
Fractors, yes. No, prime
I
factors.
drove a fractor once.
Every number can be made of a multiple of primes. If you bothered...
What?
Sexy toaster waffles, yes.
That's the name of this video.
Yes.
It's official.
If you bothered to look at that area, which I did not, where it has a picture of a lion eating the sun, you would see that tu fui ego eris. And that's the government place that Alice works for. I don't... Did it say that Alice worked for it there?
No, but we know it now.
It's kind of a spoiler, because now we know about this top secret government place.
It showed her picture, though.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell. The text was over all of the identifying parts. I can't really tell from a skirt. Or pants or whatever it was she was wearing.
It's interesting because you think Alice has very distinctive clothing, and I accidentally shut the thing on me.
Way to go, Michael!
My mistake. Fortunately, I remembered the password.
So, you being the one who's played this game, well, I guess Nikola played this too, I haven't, but you being the one who's doing this playthrough that we're watching and talking about, this password system for all of these lockers, does that get old after a while, or is it nice to have the variety of all the different shapes? Is it more of a challenge to have so many different puzzles using the same sort of base type of puzzle with those symbols?
I think there's the game never goes into it, but you'll notice we have moon, star, and sun keys, and those are all the 3 rounds of the nonary game. So, for example, here in the second round we get moon keys, and in the first round I believe we got star keys, right?
Something like that, maybe. But what I was asking is it a fun challenge to have that as a standard for every single locker we've been to that I can think of? Or would it really have been nice to do something other than stars and moons and clovers and balloons and all of the Lucky Charm shapes on the locker door?
You know, the only other option I could think of is inserting a number to open up the locker. So,
I suppose.
Yeah.
But you could also have the traditional safe where you're taking the dial and you're turning it from one side to the other. I mean, that could be a nice way to use the touchpad.
I always fail at those puzzles. Actually, you know, that was a problem in high school with my locker because I can't work.
Your stylus wouldn't lock onto it to turn it?
I turn left and then I turn right, and then for some reason you have to turn all the way, a full rotation to the left. It's weird. Anyway,
well, now
we found the key in the safe.
On your old locker.
We found the key in the safe. Hooray, we can leave. We also found that really confusing piece of paper which Nikola will recognize and nobody else will.
Wait, why will he recognize it?
Nikola?
The IG paper?
No, the paper with the weird map, which, you know...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it, but, you know, it had different locations. It had A, B, C, D, and E, and one is here, and one is when the Radical 6 got loose.
So, conceivably, somebody who's already played the game would recognize the map, too,
Yes.
Oh.
Well, somebody who's seen the final ending will recognize
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't really know what, or at least I didn't know what all that meant until, like, the very end.
Well, I played the ending, and I still didn't know what it meant. It's sort of like this map for Floor B. They really could have simplified it a bit, I suppose.
They've got, like, 9 rooms on here they had to put somewhere, though.
9 rooms, 9 doors.
Bee garden?
Oh, so the bee garden is here. All right. Well, I mean, nobody seems curious about the other rooms they don't go through. Like, I think this time around, nobody went through the pantry.
You guys.
Well, after we went through the green door, we ended up in the treatment center.
Yeah, I don't think anybody went through the pantry this time around. It's funny how that works.
They're trying to be conscious, not eating too much,
Yeah.
in case they need to stay in good, healthy shape to run away from traps.
Back to any of the rooms we've already visited.
And I think there's only, like, one pathway where somebody goes to Gollum Bay.
So?
That's somehow one of the weirdest rooms.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that they only go through it in the Luna pathway.
Uh-huh.
Gollum like Lord of the Rings? Or Golem like monster statue come to life?
It's spelled both ways, isn't it, Nikola? It's a pun
It's supposed to
based
be
on
like,
both, but it's
yeah.
supposed to be Golem.
Yeah, it depends how it's like GOL-M Bay.
Ah, so Gollum.
They explain this hilarious pun when you actually go there. But let's pay attention to this. We've never been here before. Treatment center.
Oh, it's like the sarcophagus in Stargate.
Why?
Well, maybe it can fix whatever's wrong with your brain.
Hey, you want to start something, lady? Calm down.
Maybe that's what's wrong with Dio. His top hat is on too tight, and it's cutting off blood flow to important parts of his brain that can, affect kindness and common human decency.
Or he's the leader of an evil cult with like 1,000 clones.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
So you can be cryogenically frozen in these pods.
According to some records we found in here.
Hey guys, I'm gonna just dump myself in one of these pods, and you can cryogenically freeze me. Come back when the game's over.
Well, here we go. But 3 people were frozen today.
All we found was what was in the
Or
logs for the
they were
pods.
unfrozen today.
No idea. Part of the logs were
So
erased.
which
All that's
3
left is
people
when the
were
codes
frozen?
turned off. It records the
And why is that one
notes
screen
sticking
blue?
up.
Because Quark is supposed to be inside if you go through this room on a different pathway.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason, and they just didn't
Okay.
bother to change it.
Because you don't need a device like this to freeze Alice. Am I wrong?
So here we go, Ice 9.
Talking about?
Nathaniel, you've been looking forward to this.
Water in your body is
Have I?
normal water. It's something called ice.
I think so.
It freezes at 96.8 degrees. That means all you have to do to put yourself in cold sleep is drop your body temperature below 96.8. No fancy machine needed.
Where on earth did you hear that?
From Clover,
Clover?
when we were exploring the lounge during the first round.
I see.
What's so funny?
Oh man, you fell for that one hook, line, and sinker, didn't you? Clover.
Yeah,
was
why would he
messing
believe
with
that?
you. That is, if she even said anything to you.
Well-
at all. It was a lie.
I mean, here's my question. If that's the case, that would mean it's over 96 degrees right now.
It's made of ice 9.
Well, you're mistaken.
You think they would notice that the temperature is above 97 degrees?
Well, I don't know how this magic body works, but presumably it has its own. It has like the same internal regulation that we do, so it's kept at 98.6 unless she somehow gets colder.
Yeah, at or above 98.6. Okay.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure wearing that minimal amount of clothing helps her to not suddenly freeze up as she's walking outside.
Yes. Well, that's why she's wearing the minimal clothing. She's super, super hot.
We're not going to
sounded
touch
wrong.
that one.
Yeah,
We could,
sorry
Yeah.
about
but we're
that.
not gonna.
Her body temperature
Whatever you say, Michael.
is very, very increased.
They say that the mummy finally thawed, and when it did, it began to move. And ever since then, I've had people say they thought I was her. I mean, really? How could anyone believe something so ridiculous? The existence of this mysterious Alice and of this ice that doesn't melt are just urban legends.
Unless I'm mistaken, the music here is taken directly from 999, so it's a nice little musical cue.
Because your name's Alice. There tons of Alice.
You know, it's a shame. I don't know if it's the way the volume is balanced or has been balanced in our Game Color videos, because that's how I watched 999. Didn't play that one either. But I've heard faint hints of the music here and there, but I honestly have no idea what the soundtrack sounds like. I can hear the voice acting, though.
That's good. I think, you know, maybe there's a difference if you use headphones or not.
Of course, they were at a loss. In fact, I began to feel
Possible.
sorry for them. So I told them something. If you're so convinced, then maybe I am actually Alice. But maybe I've lost my memory and can't remember who I am.
Oh, great. She's gonna pull the possible amnesiac routine.
I'm still not sure why Clover would tell you something like that, though. Even if she was just messing with you, it seems a little out of left field.
You really think she put that much thought into it? She was probably just screwing with him, and it was the first thing that came to mind. Maybe she wanted to see if she could get him to believe something completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I could see her doing something.
I love how with everything else that's happened in the game, this is the first thing that we're fascinated by and just stop remembering to talk and provide commentary.
I don't think it's terribly useful. We should go
Well, I
see
think
if
I
there's
would
warehouse
just double check. I would, like, check Alice's pulse or something like that. Make sure her forehead isn't completely burning up. Let's see if you really are 98 degrees.
She doesn't look like a boy band.
Yeah, I know, but you can't be too careful in situations like these.
Why are the doors blue?
And now they're white.
Yeah, what's going on?
And now the door is blue again.
Oh, wait. They're on the opposite side of the wall. I get it.
Looks
Okay.
like the same warehouse.
Wait, so the opposite sides mirror each other completely?
No. The blue doors are just like the entrance doors to the room, while the white doors are the entrance to the next puzzle rooms.
Oh, so this door has multiple entrances?
I think so. I think there's one on each side.
Huh.
I'd bet
Maybe.
on that.
No, but they were all right next to each other,
Look,
too.
they've got the
That
same
is true.
boxes next to them as the other doors.
I'll have to check the map again.
Yeah, whereas here they've got, you know, like 2 doors on the same wall and the third door is on a different wall.
We definitely need to tell the others about this.
Yeah, no, let's see, 1, 2, I guess you're right, yeah.
Every time I see those doors open, I expect little toy soldiers or robots or something to come marching out.
Why?
I don't know. It's just that when doors slide open ominously and there's just dark blackness behind it, I always expect something to come marching out, because that's how video games work, right? I mean, all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade games, the doors slide open and foot soldiers come pouring out, right? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Does make you wonder what those foot soldiers were doing before then. Were they just patiently waiting behind the door for the turtles to appear?
Rock, paper, scissors until they figure out who's going out first.
All right. So who's in the group we haven't met? Quark, Kay, and Clover?
Yes.
Wow, I'm good at guessing.
Yeah, good job.
Everybody whose name sounds with K, start over here in this group.
Yeah,
They returned.
This is the harsh consonant group.
they were just sitting around eating their sexy toaster waffles.
Oh.
In the meantime,
Happened to Quark. He collapsed. It happened so suddenly. We were just searching our room. What? Please, you must hurry to the infirmary. Clover is
I like
looking
T-Dog's
after
fighting
you.
pose.
His condition could change at any moment.
T-Dog is ready to just smack down.
If you think
Yeah.
about it, it's almost like he's holding an invisible pickaxe.
Yeah.
T-Dog is always very, very concerned about Quark, which is unfortunate because Quark is always the first to die.
Yeah.
First to die?
From
He's not
Radical
dead, he's
6.
just sleeping. Look at him.
You mean people's gonna die?
Come on. Get a hold of yourself.
Hey, someone stole his hat.
They
Well,
got hungry.
that's where the waffles are. Actually, I don't know if anybody dies in this pathway.
When someone's passed out, it's good to really shake them violently, right? That's the best method to go about it.
Well, that wakes them up, right? They were gonna play Dire Dire Docks on the alarm clock, but they just don't have the time.
That's what happens in hospitals when someone faints. 50 cc's of shaking this kid, stat.
Collapsed before. Well, then call an ambulance and stop freaking out about it. You son of a bitch. This is serious.
The infirmary seems pretty well equipped. There are plenty of diagnostic tools, but without a doctor, there's not going to be much we can do with him.
What about Luna?
She is going to reveal herself
Luna?
I
as a
think
doctor.
Sigma just revealed her.
Remember Dio saying
Wait, don't we know she's a doctor already?
Not in this path.
Time travel and mind linking and all of the rats swimming in a circle or whatever that explanation was?
you have to take a look at it then.
For some reason in this pathway, Quark doesn't get sick until after the second AB round.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Usually he gets sick after the first one, but you know.
So is that anything like June's illness in the first game of, oh, you took the wrong path, Quark got sick?
No.
No, it's just an odd coincidence.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it can.
I think the game thought there were more important things to dwell on in the previous video.
Actually, that would be a fun way of gauging whether you're progressing in the right direction, as Tenmyouji starts complaining about his knees acting up every time you're going down the right path.
I can't handle this.
My arthritis.
Oh yeah, okay, so in the previous video we had a bunch of setup for the Phi ending and things like that with Schrodinger's cat and the bomb. And so because there was a bomb, Quark was unable to get sick.
Schrodinger's bomb, you don't know whether it's detonated until you open the box.
Yeah, you don't know.
So bombs are the cure to Radical 6, okay.
Well, we've got 3 bombs, don't we?
Yeah, everyone should be really healthy.
Quark has an infection. A viral infection. Oh no.
And the only prescription is more cowbell.
That'll help wake him up too. You shake him, I'll bang the cowbell.
Just gets up and starts dancing. It worked.
So I think this is the second time we'll see Quark freak out. I did not fast forward through this for some reason.
Oh, good. That's one of my favorite scenes. Why is the paper in the background so shaky?
I don't
know. It's that old-timey newsreel footage effect.
Oh, okay. He's remembering this on a zoetrope.
And that's supposed to be a newspaper article, but I've never seen any newspaper article sort of lined like that.
Formatted like that, yeah.
I presume that maybe if you play the Japanese game, the text is not in English.
It says legitimate newspaper at the top in Japanese.
There must be something we can do. How can we cure him?
Well, Adam says there's an antiviral serum called Excelivir. It's the only way to
Oh great, now we're taking orders from Adam, like other M. Do whatever Adam tells you to do.
Yes.
Where is it? Should it be in the infirmary somewhere? We looked around, but we didn't see anything. I don't trust a damn thing you say. I'm asking Luna.
He trusts everything Luna says.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Damn it. What about the other rooms?
I mean, she's got a trustworthy face, unlike Dio.
Did you find anything?
Yeah, Dio's got this suspicious top hat.
And I would say Dio would just need to smile every once in a while. I think he does, and there's like this dopey grin that he has every so often, but a genuine,
got a jerk
friendly
smile.
smile
Yeah,
would make
that's-
us trust him more.
Was there any
That's
Or
when he's
possibly
trying to put
turn
one
us
over
off
on
to
us.
listening to him.
laboratory? There were a number of chemicals and concoctions there, some of which were medicine.
Because then you've also got that creepy, sinister smile that people like Dio can pull off sometimes.
Mhm.
He's going to
And that's just the keep your distance smile, not the I'm friendly, trust me.
I don't think Phi is capable of smiling, though. Actually,
don't
she
think-
might smile. She does a weird smile in one of the endings, in the Quark ending.
No, there was nothing even remotely like it.
She's got one pose that's sort of a smile, right? Where she, like, kind of leans forward and, like, puts her arms behind her back.
Maybe we're thinking of the
Am I
same
making that
thing. I thought in the Quark ending it's a unique animation where she turns to the side and makes a joke. And
Yeah,
that's
I
not
think
this
so.
ending. So,
Quark?
She doesn't like to smile.
Quark!
Oh, God.
my God.
Hey, look, he's fine.
Get away from me!
I guess the reason they take Quark's hat off in every single ending is so they wouldn't have to change this cutscene.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. I have to.
But aren't they 3D character models? Couldn't you just program him to have the same position and just swap out the hat model for the non-hat model?
How?
You think that would be possible, but apparently not.
Maybe it's more dramatic. We can take him more seriously if he's not wearing the box of goodies hat.
Well, also the hat would probably fall off in the middle of this struggle, too.
So we're being practical. Quark thinks, well, I've probably been infected. Let me take off my hat, so in the event that I wake up from this and suddenly go psycho, I won't lose my hat.
Why is no one helping Sigma?
On it.
Me too. Stop it! Let go of me, you jerks!
Of course, T-Dog's just standing around doing nothing.
Oh, so bored.
He's trying to remember whether he switched over the laundry or not.
Where did I leave my grandpa videos?
Oh, right.
Did I leave the stove on
Bastards! Why won't you let me go?
after
Oh,
I
what's wrong
left
with
the
Quark?
house and flew to the moon?
They can't lock away the soul once my body's gone. My soul can
So this is
escape.
something I find interesting, because he's talking about the soul in the body, and I think this somewhat reflects Dio's
Let me die.
crazy cult, Free the Soul.
Kill me! Somebody! Anybody! Kill me! Kill me! Kill me!
I don't know if
Do you
that's
think
on
there's-
purpose or not.
I was just wondering, do you think there's any chance Quark and Zero the Third are voiced by the same person? I don't have the volume up at full, so I can't really tell, but
Different
they
people
sort
in
of
the
sounded
Japanese
similar.
version.
Okay.
But the credits don't tell us who did the English voices, which is unhelpful. I think it's clearly a woman doing Quark's voice, though. There's like one point where like the voice breaks, and it's like she just does like a little girl voice instead of a little boy voice. Although it could be that Quark is just going through puberty, and she's just being very
No.
voice
Yeah.
actors
Is it-
reflecting that.
What?
Is it when they try to get him to wear the dress in the T-Dog ending?
Yeah. Starts talking like a girl.
The one that's in our bracelets. Good. Perfect. Hit him with some of that.
What?
He'll be fine. It's just an anesthetic, Tenmyouji. It won't hurt him, I promise.
But
Just hurry up and do it. Come on, Luna. Okay. Let me just... Okay, I've got it. Good. Wait until he's... Now! Do it now! Right. No! Stop! Stop!
Whatever happened to patient consent?
So what was Vi waiting for there, and who else?
For him to stop wiggling. Didn't you see how much he was wiggling in that cutscene?
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering what the other people were doing, because clearly Sigma is holding down Quark at the top and at the bottom, so...
According to these readings, he's in a very deep sleep.
Everyone else is just cheering him on.
Okay. Well, Quark, I mean, has Kay already demonstrated his miraculous ability to knock anybody unconscious?
By
I don't think
lecturing
so.
them long enough?
Oh, so
you sure
bored.
was strong for such a little guy.
I think that might be the virus's fault. It probably attacks the part of the brain that governs reason. Without anything to hold it back, his body was using every ounce of strength it had.
Yeah? How do you know?
Huh? Oh, well,
How much do you know about this Radical 6?
not much. I
You gotta love how Dio's very upset that a doctor knows medical information. That's suspicious.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Why would I lie about that? I've seen other viruses do the same thing. I was just making a guess.
Somebody have a bird?
That's Nikola.
Yeah, I keep trying to mute it. It's
He's
not
always
working. There's a
recording
bird right
in the middle
outside.
of a peaceful forest.
Yes, at least I think so.
Well, actually, you know, there are birds near my house, but they're not around anymore. I used to have a seagull infection,
I ate
which
them
is
all.
weird because I'm 2 hours away from the coast. So you think there
2
wouldn't
miles,
be
2
seagulls?
hours.
Okay, so Alice
Uh-oh.
is the second to die.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a good pose right there.
She's
Oh, I thought that was like, you know how they have those like Blick wall stickers that the Tetris, or not Tetris, but they have Space Invaders and
yeah.
Mega Man and Donkey Kong. It sort of looked like a full-sized Alice sticker on the door.
Better hope
She
Sigmund
look
doesn't have a
entirely
coin.
3D there.
Yeah, that's dangerous. No, but Alice has the scalpel, and now she looks just like Quark. She's exhibiting the same suicidal tendencies.
And that just kind of came out of nowhere. Because
Yeah,
where
Quark
would she
at
have
least
gotten
passed out
infected
first.
with Radical 6?
Yeah, and she hasn't really spent time with Quark, so, I mean, she obviously caught the virus from him.
Or
Or
wherever
he caught
Quark
the
caught the
virus
virus from.
somewhere else.
Huh? We're all dead already.
I think they were sharing a sandwich together earlier this video, right? That's probably what it was.
No, they were sharing waffles. I thought we determined
Oh
this.
yeah,
What are you talking about?
that's right.
Understand? All of humanity.
How many waffles are in a package? Radical 6.
Will spread. Adults, children, everyone. Everyone! There won't be anyone left! I'd rather die here!
Yeah, she's infected with Radical 6 and wants to commit suicide now. I'm calling it.
Someone grab her
Remind me,
when the door slowly opens.
Remind me, did we determine how Radical 6 was spread? Was it airborne? Was it touch contact?
Well, because
Mentally processed?
we have quarantine facilities, right? And yeah, it's an airborne
Passed by
virus.
sign
That's
language.
why we have the pressure exchange chamber.
Right.
By changing the air pressure, that allegedly gets rid of the virus, but the virus apparently has snuck into this facility.
And did we determine that people themselves are contagious, or you? Well, I'm sorry. If it's airborne, I guess you could pick it up from other people if they were breathing it. But
Yeah.
so why isn't everybody else going crazy?
We haven't determined whether or not this facility is a quarantine facility for people who have the disease, or if it's a quarantine facility to keep people who don't have the disease safe.
Lost her.
Ooh.
Well, let's split up and look. Quickly. She can't have gotten too far.
Right.
I imagine it's going to be far more complicated than this, but that would be a neat plot twist to have a slightly simpler game where you're trying to escape some sort of quarantine facility because you want to save humanity and you think the rest of humanity's been infected, and it turns out you're the ones who are threatening humanity, and winning is really losing for everyone.
All right, let's move, people. Get going.
This ending is going to be rather, unless I'm completely wrong and mistaking it for a different ending, something interesting is going to happen here.
Ooh, I like interesting things. Why don't you put in more of those, Michael? It'd be interesting all the time.
It's not my fault! Ooh, I think this is actually it. I could be right. Yes! Yay.
I'm more invested in this game than I was in 999, and I don't know if that's because I'm getting more used to the visual novel style, or if I like the characters better, or if it's that I already have the backstory of 999, so I have more of a basis for a fuller universe to draw on and appreciate references to.
It is a superior game by most standards.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, so the puzzles are tons better, but I also like the story better in this game. I think I talked about this before, but they've sort of like established the crazy in the first game, right? So now
Yeah.
I'm used to it, so I'm okay with it. In the first one, it sort of it was completely normal until towards the end where the wheels came completely off. This one I was ready for it. I was prepared for crazy stuff.
So having played and or watched these videos, have you gone back to 999 since? And has your opinion changed of the game or the way you look at it since playing this?
So I don't think I'm going to play 999 again. I wasn't a huge fan of it. When it comes out, Michael was talking about the iOS version that's just basically going to be the novel.
Yeah.
I might do that so I don't have to waste my time with the puzzles and see what I think then. But it's not a game. I didn't like 999 enough to replay it.
I think I would want to replay it just to get some of the extra endings, because, I mean, one of the rooms we didn't go through in our 999 playthrough was a room where there are sharks in the floor, actually.
What?
It's a retractable
How did we miss
floor,
that?
and you can fall down
skip
into a
Michael
shark
drop the
pit,
staff?
and you learn more about, what's-her-face, Lotus, and
Lotus,
her
yeah.
daughters.
I think Lotus and Seven are. I think they're both with you in that room, if I
Lotus
remember
and
correctly.
Seven are both with you, because the first part of the room is you going through the area, the rooms where Seven was held captive 9 years ago, you know, the place where he's held captive.
Yes. Yeah. That leads to one of the many bad endings. Or I guess one of the 4 bad endings. There really aren't that many.
Yeah, I want to see the bad ending where everybody dies. But I'm sorry, everybody, this is not the interesting ending I was thinking of. Oh well. Here we just find Alice in the bee garden, and she's just unconscious.
Yes. Unlike last time we found her and there was a giant knife protruding from her chest.
Yeah, I was thinking of one of those endings where she gets killed.
It was actually rather small, as I recall.
Yeah, it's just a scalpel.
I mean, to be protruding out of your chest, I think that's large enough.
Yeah,
Any size knife out of your
it has
chest
to go deep
is
enough
too big.
to actually get her heart, because they say that's where she was stabbed.
Well, you know, she is an ancient Egyptian princess. Maybe her heart is in an old place, a different place. And human hearts migrated slightly over time.
I'm glad you showed up. I just
You really know your Egyptian history.
I'm an
When you
expert.
showed up, I was getting ready to carry her to the infirmary.
So, Nikola, if you didn't really care for 999, what prompted you to play Zero Escape? Or Zero Escape being the series, Virtue's Last Reward.
So I sort of like the concept of visual novels, and there aren't a ton available, you know, in the North American market. And also, my 3DS wasn't getting much use at the time. So, I mean, I'm glad I did look into it though, because I actually really like this game.
Yeah, I was just sort of thinking of the Golden Sun series. I really was not a big fan of the original Golden Sun, but I liked a lot of the ideas. I liked the using your synergy, your magic equivalent, to solve puzzles on your overworld map, and the way some of the battles were structured, but a lot of the core gameplay really wasn't that interesting to me, and I wasn't getting into the story. But I played the second one anyhow, and then in the last quarter of the game, it suddenly became really wonderful, and everything came together, and I loved it. It was great. And then I played the next one just because, and then it sort of went back to feeling the way it was before. Like, well, I'm playing this game because now I'm sort of invested in it, but I'm still not really sold on the gameplay. I guess I kind of like the characters, and I think it's the completionist in me. I try something and say, well, I didn't really like this one, but it is a series, so now I'm sort of obligated to play the rest of the series and educate myself about it.
Oh yeah, and Alice has Radical 6, as we've already figured out.
Womp womp.
Oh, is that what was going on?
Yeah. So Luna was just testing her.
Yeah, I think it would have been more of a plot twist if she didn't have Radical 6.
And Luna is now going to mention antibodies and immunoglobulin, which might sound familiar to both of you.
Yes, you pointed that out, that IG stuff.
Yeah. So it's very convenient that we find out about immunoglobulin. It's very interesting that we found out about IG and the pathway where it's important.
Yeah, I think Immunogoblin, that was a Spider-Man villain, right?
I think that sounds like it, right? Yeah, no, I think this is the only pathway we talk about IG.
But the pods will keep them from getting any worse, right?
Do either of you remember the previous pathway ending?
Was that the T-Dog ending?
Yeah, that was the one where Quark wrote a novel on 2 pieces of paper in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, what is it? We went through the you guys will see what happens. But when we went through the laboratory,
Oh,
that's
yes.
where we found Excelivir, and Sigma is going to have a flash from that ending, I believe.
I see. So we would get a block here normally, right?
Yeah, we would totally get a block.
What? Well, what is
Okay.
it?
Stupid blocks.
It's a block puzzle.
Excelivir.
We know how much the Game Color crew loves block puzzles.
That's the one thing that can cure Radical 6.
I like block puzzles.
The Pony Pros love block puzzles,
Quark had
but the Pony Pros are no longer in existence.
Yeah, I thought we retired that name.
Yes, they've been put out to pasture. Much improved. We don't have an official name anymore, but whatever it is, it's way better.
Michael, don't you dare start coming up with names for us now.
I'm not.
We're the Phony Froze.
That would have been a better name for us before, because neither Paul or I had ever seen My Little Pony.
Who cares about the details? We have it. Hurry up and give it to him, Luna.
Hey, hold on a minute. What about Alice?
Does it really matter if she goes first or not?
Yeah, so this is a slightly different situation, because now we have 2 people infected with Radical 6, but we only have one thing.
The only way we have to
Well, Alice is a grown adult. She can take care of herself.
the way it functions. It uses a whole bottle each time you pull the trigger.
In other words, we can't split the dose in 2 or something.
Well, can't you just, like, split it in half and fill the other half with water with the same?
Yeah, or open the bottle and pour half of it into a glass sitting off to the side, and then just use the rest of it for
Nope,
cork.
completely ruined. You open the bottle, it vaporizes instantly.
That's how medicines work, right? You can't ever remove medicine from the bottle.
Nope. Have you tried taking Tylenol before?
That
Oh,
one bottle was it.
I
What a
mean, that's
pain.
the exact same thing which happens when we shoot Quark with the Soberol and make him go unconscious. We can't open the bottle and use it in the injection gun.
Oh, God.
I just had this vision of opening a bottle of Tylenol tablets and just watching this swirl of tablet, disintegrating as they're puffing out into the air. No, don't open the bottle.
No. Try to breathe it in.
And what are we going to do?
Well, the other question is who more seriously needs the cure right now, and who's got a better prognosis if they just sit around and we look for another cure elsewhere.
Well, this is the Alice ending, so obviously we need to figure out a way to save her.
Or we find a
Sorry,
way to
Ford.
put an end to Alice by not giving her the medicine.
Do you know what immunoglobulins?
Uh-oh, are we going to get a bunch of different scenes flashing at us now?
Yes.
Some people have antibodies that can fight off Radical 6.
We could call ourselves the Flashback fans.
No! Well, I actually kind of like that game for the Super Nintendo. Same style as Out of This World. Very difficult. Haven't beaten it yet.
And here's a flashback from the laboratory ending.
Probably copies IG.
Hmm.
Whatever that is.
We were so confused because we had no idea what the IG replicator was.
I think it was Idiot Girl, right?
Yeah. But in our case, it was Idiot Guy because Sigma's just an idiot.
IG, irrelevant gameplay, get to the story!
It's immunoglobulin replication machine.
What?
And nobody's surprised, really, by the fact that Sigma knows what's in the laboratory.
Yeah, this guy who didn't know what anagrams was, all of a sudden busting out these things.
Hold on a moment. There is a strange device in the laboratory that says IG replicator on it. Clover and I examined it thoroughly when we were in that room.
Yeah, we never could figure out what it did, though.
Why are you winking, Clover?
My question is,
We never could figure out what it did, but I bet you could, Sigma.
It's not a time for winky face. This is serious.
Every time's a good time for winky face.
I like how they put the ... punctuation in a couple sentences back. The laboratory.
The laboratory.
Oh no, they've got Radical 6 too.
Oh dear.
Bleh. Can't speak. Blah.
If what he's saying is true, then we
This is
should
Luna's
catch
thinking
Duke
face.
It's very serious.
Sure, Alice
It looks like
would
she's
She-
kind of angry about thinking.
Let's go
She
ahead.
doesn't like to think.
Yeah, no time to waste.
So is Clover the only person with a winky face?
I think Kay's got one too, right?
No, he's
When-
got the sparkle hands.
Oh, of course.
When he puts like the one hand over his mouth and the other one up in the air, I always imagine he's winking.
Poor Kay. We'll eventually get to find out more about Kay and him.
Or her.
He's still
or
quite the
it,
mystery.
Or them. That would be interesting. Have two very small people in the suit, and that's Kay.
It's actually two 4-year-olds on each other's shoulder.
Oh yeah, it's Quark. It's Quark's twin sisters.
Yeah. Gluon and Photon.
and charmed.
Yeah.
Actually, if they're standing on top of each other, they could be up and down.
Oh,
Oh.
I like it.
Well, I think presumably they know how to get out of the suit, and when they're off screen, they just switch positions. It's kind of weird how we have these green bubble walls of the laboratory, and we never examine them.
I like it.
Those-
Who's playing the game, Michael, to not examine them?
No, the game literally makes it impossible for you to scroll to that location and see them.
Yeah, they look like the tubes that they grow the aliens in the Aliens movies.
Yeah.
Check
That always
those
gets
out.
me when a video game introduces, especially adventure games or things where you can examine things, when a game throws in a piece of architecture that is clearly very interesting and you cannot interact with it in any way.
Yeah.
It's just the background artists getting very excited. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
this room has the forced perspective. You have to be looking directly at the IG replicator pretty much the entire time.
Mhm.
Actually, going back to what I was saying about Golden Sun, that's one thing that I did like. You could examine practically anything. There, swords are left standing and things like that. You could check out the ovens, and you could see what people are cooking, and it tells you a little bit about the regional flair of where you are in the world, what kinds of foods they're cooking, all sorts of. And every single pot may or may not have something in it. So I spent much of my time rummaging through people's pots and boxes.
Yeah. I used to love that sort of thing in like old RPGs, like the Lunar games. I'm not sure if you've ever played them. They had the same sort of thing where there's a response for basically everything you could check.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are so much more informative. I was just going to complain about the forced perspective making it hard to see the back of the room. And if
Well,
you
no,
go back to that video and watch, you'll notice I have a hard time reaching there and getting all the things from the back of the room.
That's also true. Like Sigma kind of like crab walks throughout that entire room, right? Like
Yeah.
he's just like sort of walking side to side.
So Sigma's hand slipped.
You dropped
You
Seriously.
Just replicate
Sigma, you
another.
idiot. Yeah.
Hell, what have you broken it, you idiot?
Well, here's the thing. They don't really consider the possibility of making another copy.
Yeah. Does this have any influence in the story at all, other to show that Sigma's a tremendous klutz?
I think that's it.
guys,
Okay.
Sigma is Butterfingers. Well, no, wait a minute. It allows Phi to look down on the ground where she notices something
Oh.
very suspicious.
Oh, it's a dead body. How did we miss that?
Yeah. It's Zero. He's been hiding here the entire time.
no, the vial's fine. See?
Then what the heck is going on down there?
Take a look.
Tell us.
Seriously.
Very
enough.
soft language coming from Dio now.
Yeah. Please explain what's happening.
He listened to Nathaniel and now he's being nicer. Still not smiling.
It's a
He unscrewed his
berm!
top hat.
Really?
Oh, God.
Makes two, then.
Oh, it's number 20 or 2, depending on what way I'm supposed to look at it.
It's number 2. It's number 2.
Okay.
It kind of looks like
Was this
Oz
here
from
when you
where
guys
I'm
came
sitting.
through the first time?
Really does.
No, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and I looked real hard.
I still have
And
no
somebody
idea how
must have
this
said it while we
bomb
were in
is
class.
connected to the ceiling
How
of
would
the
do
thing
that?
above it.
It's got anti-gravity lifts.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're
That's what
just,
all those little
our
dots
head
are
is
on it.
upside down and it's really resting on the ground.
I was back in the infirmary. Quark was still out, so I was keeping an eye on him.
So we shouldn't consider you a suspect. Is that right?
Yeah, Quark's off the list too. But Tenmyouji, you have no proof that you spent the entire time in the infirmary, do you? What? You could have quietly made your way to the laboratory, planted the bomb. That's insane.
Where would any of these people hit bombs at,
There's no
though?
way in hell I'd have left Quark all
Well,
by himself
if
to go plant a
Alice has
goddamn
pockets to
Oh,
hide a
yeah.
notebook, I think it was, then anybody can really hide anything.
All bets are off.
Yeah, because Sigma can he can carry gigantic
Hey, what's
things
this
in
thing?
rooms, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they've got adventure game character pants, is what we're supposed to believe here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although it was
Hey guys, I thought we might want to look at the water again, so I brought the bee garden with me. Here you go.
What was it?
It's in my
Where did
inventory.
the bomb? It was down on the
it was
floor under
said
the
somewhere
table.
near the beginning of the game that they all had empty pockets,
Inside
though.
the bomb. There was nothing like it here when we
Although
examined
clearly
this
certain
room.
people were lying about that. Because T-Dog has the picture and the T-Dog ending.
Unless it was left here intentionally, yes. I imagine so. What do you think's on it?
That's true. It's kind of weird he got to keep his wallet.
There's nothing else besides the picture. Zero also has a crush on June, so he lets T-Dog keep the picture of her. No, but seriously, heroes, make 9 copies of the Excelavir so all of you can be cured from Radical 6.
9? Why stop there? Make 18. Everybody's got 2 in case one of them breaks. Or in case Dio
At least,
gets anywhere near them.
yeah, at least make one more just in case, right?
So what do we
Like,
do?
you're going to use these 2 up. You won't have any more.
Yeah. It's an airborne virus. They're all in danger of catching it.
10 minutes remain
Now that
until
we've cured these 2, we're all safe
countdown
forever.
closes. All players, please enter your votes.
I mean, is Radical 6 like chicken pox? You get it once and then you're good the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Voting parties will automatically ally.
I think maybe that
Guys,
book, which was big and large, somewhat went into that.
You're right. We've got what
They
we
said
came
when
for.
Radical 6 hits, it's usually, there's like I don't know, maybe a 10-hour period, which is dangerous, where the person really, really tries to kill themselves. But once you get past that period, the person's usually okay.
Okay, yeah, I do vaguely remember that now.
Right now we need to take care of Alice and Quark. Right.
Alright, so we're going to give the serum to Alice and Quark, because we're fantastic.
So to do it.
Yeah, that's nice of
Take
us.
a little while, but they should recover.
I wonder what Luna's been doing this whole time, just watching the unconscious people. Playing video games on the Atom.
Yeah, she's been playing Angry Birds.
Well, because this is the future, Angry Birds has gone up to like 30 different copies by now.
Yeah.
Angry Bird Sapphire, Angry Bird Heart Gold.
Angry Birds edition. I mean, I guess any pose, but that seems like an extra dangerous pose for Alice right there.
Yes. The analysis I did on the vials confirmed
Well, somebody
that
obviously had to pose it, because they obviously put her hands there, because
Yeah.
they carried her all the way up through an elevator.
Time before the virus is awakened.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yes. Oh man, what a relief. I was really worried.
So why did Sigma give Clover a pat on the back?
Because he's a pervert, probably.
Okay.
Didn't say where on the back.
All right, everybody. We can be relieved later. Right now we need to get
Good
to the
job,
EV
Clover.
really
Your
fast.
friend isn't going to die.
Don't even
He's
have to
trying to
jump
boost
around.
morale.
Yeah, only with the pretty girls.
Yeah. He didn't pat Dio on the back.
Well, Dio's not relieved.
Yeah. Darn it. They're
Dio's
going
probably
to live.
got poison needles hidden in his back somewhere.
Yeah.
It looks like you may have gotten the better of me, but before you go through the number 9 door, give me a hug.
So what should we vote, ally or betray? Our opponent is Alice.
Oh, definitely ally then. She can't. She's unconscious right now, right?
Yeah. But Sigma only has 1 BP, right?
Stayed back in the
Or does he have 6?
Why?
No, he's only got one.
Well,
That's
when we
true.
were all heading out, I noticed he wasn't doing anything. So
So,
I asked him if he was coming with us. And this is what I got.
I mean, it's not like she can vote betray, though, right?
Yeah, she's unconscious.
Let's vote Betally.
But just hit both at the same time and see what happens.
That's an interesting thought.
That's cool. Nothing
Oh,
to
there's
worry
that
about.
Dio
I
smile.
plan to choose ally.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because I've only got 1 BP.
Exactly. If you chose ally and I betrayed you, your BP
So it's
would
Dio
drop below
versus
0.
Phi. Great. And it's basically Sigma versus
I wanna
Alice.
win, but I'm
What's
not
the other
that
matchup?
desperate. You see what I'm saying, right?
K versus Clover?
Tenmyouji and Dio are a pair. Tenmyouji only had 1
Yes.
BP left.
I think that's it. It's K versus Clover, and they both have 6 BP, which is a dangerous situation.
If she does,
Mm-hmm.
Tenmyouji will...
This is where the game always starts to slow down for me. I know that it's supposed to be tense of
Kay and I are
whether
going
you
to
ally
the
or
bar
betray
watching
may
the
determine your
Waffles
ultimate
is
fate
supposed to
right
be.
here, right now, but it's just sort of the same kind of cutscene every time of talking about, well, if you ally and I betray, well then, well, yeah, we know what happens, just get on with it.
Well, you can't do that because then I will die.
One of them can get the other to ally, and then betray that person. The betrayer will have 9
So
points.
we're explaining the fact that they both want to betray each other.
Look, Kay.
Yeah.
I know you don't really have any reason to trust me, but
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes?
yeah.
I agree. If we were to both betray, then we would gain no points. We would lose nothing either.
K is lecturing again.
If both of us
Yeah.
cooperate,
He's hoping to put her to sleep so he can run in and vote betray while she's out.
much more beneficial.
Right.
Really, you'd think what K would do here is just knock her unconscious and then run through the room. Nobody could stop him.
Look, there's his winky face. Oh, now it's gone.
Aw.
1 minute remains until Apodic's game polling closes.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move now.
Indeed. Shall we?
Dio, it's not that bad. You have a minute to walk like 20 feet and press 1 button.
But what if they put the buttons in a different place?
Oh no.
Betray ally in the other order. I wasn't prepared for this.
They do that at gas stations sometimes. You're not paying attention and you get premium when you want to do unleaded because they always put premium in the same place and unleaded in the same place until you go to this one station where it's like, we're going to do this backwards to make you get premium by accident.
I got
Oh,
water. How did
no.
this happen?
That's what happens in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time with the
Link fills
stalker
up
owl.
his boat with premium by accident.
No, the owl mixes up yes and no every single time, so you're forced to go through his entire speech
Oh,
twice,
that's the worst.
like
Yeah,
3
that
times
is.
in a row. And the worst part is, you know, you press the A button to skip through his conversation, and then the A button chooses no, I want to hear that again, so, They didn't fix that in the remake, by the way.
It should come standard in all video games that are at all text heavy to have the start button or equivalent skip by text at high speed, at least if you've beaten the game once. So that, they do that in Mega Man X, for example. I believe you can just hold start, and it speeds through the text even faster than normally holding down one of the buttons to make it go a little faster. And that's great for just skipping by stuff. And then, once it gets to the menu option of yes or no. then you can choose, because you need to let go of the start button first.
So Nathaniel, ally or betray? This video is going to end with me picking the wrong option.
Okay, so we have 1 BP.
We do.
And what's Luna at? Luna's with us, right?
Luna is probably at 6.
Okay.
No, I think she's at 5, right? She allied last time.
Yeah, she always allies, so...
And we're up against Alice, who's unconscious?
Yeah, we're up
Yes.
against Alice.
And what's her BP?
She's at 6.
I believe.
6. Well, it doesn't really matter what we do, because if Kay and Clover do their thing right, they're both getting out of here, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
if they do it
only
right,
one can get out of here.
yeah. Because they both got 6, so one of them needs to trick the other one.
Oh, I see. So one of them would... Oh, bad ending here. We're about to see it. So I would venture to say it doesn't really matter either way what we pick, because...
Ally's the bad ending?
We're not going to get out of here.
Ally is the bad ending. This is one of the endings where the game basically tells you, you need to ally, you need to ally, you need to ally. Bad ending.
This is the classic Lucy trick. She just pulled the ball away from us again.
Oh.
Stupid Virtue's Last Reward. How can allying with an unconscious person be a bad ending?
It's funny, because there's another ending where you have to ally with Quark. It's a bad ending if you betray the unconscious Quark.
Yeah.
Maybe Alice came back or somebody slipped in to vote for her. Was Alice partnered with anybody?
No? Luna and Sigma were partners.
So maybe Alice came around quickly and ran in and said, "Oh, I need to betray Sigma. That's what I need to do right now."
You're joking, but that's basically what happened.
I mean, really, that's my thought when I wake up in the morning. Wow, I need to betray Sigma.
Your neighbor is named Sigma, right? You jerk.
Actually, still on the subject of Mega Man X and the dialogue scrolling, I'm sort of surprised we haven't made a Mega Man X reference talking about Sigma all the time. Of course I want to betray Sigma when I wake up.
So everybody betrays except for Sigma. Sigma's the only...
Oh, snap!
Yeah. When I got this ending, I was so mad. I was like, how do I lose at this time? How does this happen?
Well, it makes sense that Dio would betray Phi, and Phi's smart, so she's like, no, I'm not allying him.
Yeah, I'm not an idiot.
So nobody changes except for Sigma and Luna, and now Sigma's dead.
Yeah.
Now, is this a proper ending, or are we going to get another one of those blocks where it's like, I'm in a woozy haze, it's all over for me, but, well, we'll need to find out what happens next time.
This is a proper ending, which
it's just
is
a bad
an
one.
interesting thing you should say, because there is an ending where Sigma dies, but we managed to save his life.
Where Sigma dies, but we manage to save his life.
Yeah.
We'll put it this way, he gets injected with the poison, and here he dies. It's basically, he gets injected with the thing that puts him to sleep.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And he's basically going to be in this woozy state for 9 minutes before getting poisoned.
Now, is this the exact same text as before when we saw this, or is this slightly different?
Whoa.
I presume it's slightly different.
It's sort of like a battle background from Earthbound now.
I just find it interesting that in the Quark ending, they save Sigma after being injected, but in this ending, he gets injected and they don't bother to save him.
Sigma!
And
Yeah,
Phi
there's some-
sounds different there, doesn't she?
Sigma, get up!
Sigma,
Wasn't that Clover just talking?
I was talking over her. I thought she sounded a little bit different. Her voice sounded different. I don't know.
Because it was Clover and not Phi.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
That explains a lot. So Sigma is going to slowly make his way to the AB door to see the person who voted betray against him.
You know, I would think at this point, now that you see that Zero wasn't lying about the injection, that if you know the poison's coming next, wouldn't you do everything in your power to get rid of the bracelet?
Yeah, or even, I mean, just saw style it and saw off your arm somehow. I guess you'd need to find something sharp enough, but...
I mean, especially, it's like
I'm-
worst case scenario, but if you're going to die anyhow and you want to stay alive and you're already woozy and drugged up,
Yeah, yeah.
try anything.
He's already been anesthetized.
Well, basically, we're not going to get any resolution here. Sigma's like, wait, how is she here? How did she choose betray? Dead.
What a jerk. He passes out really quickly in this version, or in this pathway, I guess.
Because
Yeah.
they didn't need to stretch it out to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the
Aw.
video,
Womp
everybody.
womp.
Aw.
Sniff, sniff.